Welcome class to week 2 of Western Civilization. Most of you are doing things right, and you should be happy for that. I will catch up on a lot of grading tomorrow. And so one of the big problems that many of you are having is you still haven't had the textbook yet. And this week we have some assignments that do require the textbook. If you are not able to do the assignment because you don't have the textbook yet, then write to me through Canvas telling me that that's the case, and I'll give you until Sunday, and hopefully you'll have the textbook ordered by then if you're online, or I can find out from the bookstore what's going on if there's not enough textbooks. But to clarify, so the assignment, let's say the discussion is supposed to be over something that would be in the textbook. Write to me in the comment section and say, Mr. Pollock, I don't have the textbook yet, and so I'll give you some extra time, and I won't give you a 0 on the assignment. Don't try to pretend that you're a part of the discussion. Don't be a part of the discussion unless you can actually do the reading for that, okay? So, if you have a different edition, that doesn't really matter as long as the pages are matching up, right? So, like this topic, you should be able to find. If you have a different edition for whatever reason, and you're wondering if you should be able to keep it or not, take a look and see if my assignments kind of correlate with the edition that you have. And you have a problem with that, just give me a call tomorrow, okay? Let's see. And then the last thing I just want to say on the work is you might be wondering, gosh, like this is Western Civ, and basically this starts off a lot like my World Civ class. Some of you actually have me for World Civ, and you've been wondering when this class is going to seem different. Well, why it starts off this way is that World Civilization all kind of start in the same place, and then Western Civilization takes off in a different spot. And what we're learning, and which is maybe surprises a lot of people, a lot of students, is that ancient Iraq, the ancient Mesopotamia, the Greco-Roman world, and the ancient Israelite world all made serious footprints on. They left many things that are the foundation of our own culture. And this has been understood for a very long time, and so that's why we're covering this. Now, again, I mentioned this in the lectures that the topic when I talk about ancient Israel, that this is one of the other times that this won't mesh well with some because it is a questioning of some of the biblical narratives in history, and I go into long detail to explain why historians do that. And so, again, I just want to remind all of you that you're not required to believe anything, just to understand why historians kind of process the world the way that they do. And then we get away from the more these a little bit more controversial topics for our society, into just the real kind of roots that most people don't really dispute about, which is like Western civilization as we know it. And this is interesting because I can't remember if I mentioned this in the first announcement. The United States is a European project. We are a product of the West. And a lot of Americans, we like to think that we just, we broke off from Britain and we became our completely unique thing. Well, we did. America is unique. I mean, let me reiterate. The United States is unique, but it's still a byproduct on so many levels of a European Western legacy. And it's more apparent in Canada, which we never pay attention. We don't pay attention to Canada. I've been in Canada several summers in a row now, and I love Canada. Canada's very interesting, and I think that if an American wants to really have a question about themselves and really kind of go into a lot of thought-provoking questions, You go to Canada. Canada didn't have a violent revolution to become independent of the British, though the Queen is still the Queen of Canada, officially, some way. And they didn't have a civil war to end slavery. They just ended it through voting. And that's kind of wild, right? Anyhow, I'll stop there. Again, the last thing I'm going to say, it's Memorial Day weekend. For many, this is just an enjoyable time to get some time off. But for others, it's a very serious and sober time. I have a little documentary clip on just the origins of Memorial Day. And I wish all of you a very thought-provoking and enjoyable time this weekend. And again, feel free to contact me if there's any questions regarding the material. I try to correspond with you as quick as possible, and I'm hoping that I'm answering your questions when you're getting to me. But again, I want to always encourage you to text me, call me, or hit me up on Canvas, okay? And yeah, we'll be in touch, and here we are in the next section.